Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today we're shooting the Elite Envision with a complete target setup. So I've done a video where I've shown this bow setup, and we're going to shoot an indoor round outdoors because it's a nice day. I'm in the shade, but it felt nice in the sun. Now I've got it set up with a basic sight, scope, 6x scope, stabilizers. There's 12 ounces on the back, 8 ounces on the front, 30-inch stabilizer at the front, 15 at the back. Like, it's basic setup. I've set it on 70% let off because I thought that felt a bit better. I've adjusted the draw length to where I think it's comfortable for me. Now, normally in a target setup, when you're setting up a target bow for yourself, you've got a blade rest, you'd normally spend time sort of playing with draw length and just being comfortable. And I've shot this bow a little bit, about as many as you've seen in the videos before this, so probably around 10 arrows. So I've shot 2 arrows practice. So we've got a new target face there, so we're going to see 30 arrows and see what sort of score we shoot. Then tomorrow we're going to take the result, the Elite Result, and shoot that. Now, I had some questions from archers: are you swapping to an Elite? Look, what I'm doing is I'm trying to compare one bow to another bow. So we're going to shoot the Envision at 50 meters, and we're going to see what score we get, and shoot the Result at 50 meters, see what score we get, and get some benchmarks. Now, a lot of this will be varied on the archer. I might be shooting good, I might be shooting bad on the day, but it gives you a feel, and it gives me a feel about how the bow aims, how I'm shooting. It gives me a feeling. And often when I change gear, like I change my recurve bow and my compound bow, it's just based on, a review I've done, and I'm like, well, I like the feel of that. I'm shooting a Fivix now. It's like I shot the review and I was like, oh, I like the feel of that. I'm shooting quite well. I put some new limbs on it. I shoot a personal best. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stick with those limbs. That's why I tend to do, and that's why I tend to swap a gear. I did a review on the Scott Ascent release date. I liked it. I'm still shooting it. So that's what I do. So this is what we are doing with this video. So now my first, so 70, you see me let down like that, 70% let off, a very short valley I've set this up with. So it feels, normally with my PSE I get into the valley and I relax a little bit. This is more like, the way I've set this bow up, it's more like a Hoyt or a Matthews to shoot with a very short valley, very positive draw stop at the back. Now the scope I'm using is 6x, it's blurry. I'm shooting at a 1/16 peep. Look, I normally shoot a 4x. With the 6x you really need to clarify to get that target clear. Feel those arrows are a little bit low on the target. Just turn down a bit. Now my sight pin is moving around the 10-9 ring. I feel like with the 4x it wobble less, so we're just going to shoot a 6 at that target because I obviously haven't gripped that well. I'm hoping by doing this, shooting 30 arrows, I'm going to move the sight down a bit more. This is the beauty of a micro adjustable sight as opposed to a hunting sight, just a couple of clicks down. And it's harder to do with a hunting sight because you bump the pin up and down. And That felt like a good shot. So you can see me moving my sight back up. Now, I'm not one of those archers who leaves his sight in the same spot and shoots a whole bunch of arrows in the 9. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully I do move my sight, because I don't want to shoot good shots and shoot 9s with good shots. If you shoot competitions, you'll see literally the majority of archers will not move their sight and will shoot clumps of arrows on the left or the right, high or low, and they refuse to move their sight because they're like, well, it's me, and well, it just means I've got a different anchoring point. Yeah, you probably do have a different anchoring point, but just move your sight. That felt good. Let's go and have a look and let's score those arrows. Okay, so to score my arrows, I use a bit of software. I think it's free, it may not. It's called Archer's Success. It's very easy to use. I'm shooting around like it's a Vegas round. I'm shooting around called an Australian, we call an Australian Indoor 1. And you just put your arrows in here. I've got 3 10s and 3 9s. That high 9 is just touching. So like, it's not a great start for me. They were slightly low. The one out to the thing, I think that was probably me. And the ones which are low, I actually thought they were lower, and the one which was high actually didn't feel like a bad shot. But I think we're on the money now, so we'll see if we can put them in the middle. Now, when I was a young kid, and I got into archery, I wasn't very good, and some would say I'm not very good now. And that's okay. But I used to come home from school, and before I'd do my chores, before I'd eat, I'd just sit there and shoot 30 or 60 arrows. So I'd score them, and back then, the scores I remember me shooting indoor, because I used to shoot in my front yard, was around 270 out of 300. So I used to average a gold. Now you may think, well, 270 back then is not that good, but back then 270 was actually pretty much the state record. Might have even been close to the national record. The scores were not as good as they are today. Today the scores are amazing. I mean, bows have come a long way, triggers have come a long way, sights have come a long way, the string materials come a long way. But back then, I never even thought about being good. I never even thought about competitions. I just came home and shot arrows. And, you know, honestly, competitions don't worry me that much. Like, you get a little medal and it's like, maybe if I was in America and I was winning prize money, or you could win prize money, then you take it a bit more seriously. But in Australia, like, I'm still waiting for my medals from the Nationals last year. It's like, now, this end I'm holding a lot steadier than I was last end. The sight pitches holding a lot more on the 10. And you'll see this when you aim. Some ends, your sight pin just sits there, and some ends you're like, whoa, all over the place. And I don't know if it's muscles, I don't know if it's your body, I don't know if you're just warming up. But sometimes it's just easy and sometimes it's hard. Before I did this video, I just put some RP37, which is an anti-rust spray on some tools. And I feel like it's all over my fingers, and I feel like my fingers are really slippery, and it's like, I wish I hadn't done that. Now normally when I shoot, so I come home from archery, from the shop, and I come home and I shoot just like this, 18 meters, bang, 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 shoot lots of arrows. Now I've got an indoor range, and I can obviously shoot at the shop outdoors, and I can shoot indoors at the shop. But I prefer to come home and shoot because I feel like I'm at home. The dog's a lot happier at home because it's warm inside. The dog freezes in winter, especially now. It's extremely cold in Australia. Like, normally it's like 19 degrees in winter. This year it's about 12 degrees. And if you're in England, 12 degrees, you're probably thinking, yeah, let's go to the beach. And I know you're getting huge heat waves in England. But like, this is cold, especially for Adelaide. Really love the grip on the Elite. The grip, really loving it. I really like the way it feels in my hand. It feels positive, feels comfortable. I mean, grips for me, whenever I do reviews, is a big thing. Now that was either because I was praying between ends, or I sacrificed a horse or something. But that was clearly a lot better end for me. All the arrows in the 10. Now, some people when they do videos or they do YouTubes, they'll probably cut out the ends they don't do very well on. Look, I don't, because it's let's talk being realistic about things. You're gonna have good ends and you're gonna have bad ends. Like, a lot of those were X's. Like, they were like really tight arrows. Like, super happy with them. And this is my thing. I have like a bad end, I'm like, ooh. And then I have a good end, I'm like, oh, that's really good. It feels good. So that's just part of archery. And get used to that. Get used to having good ends. Get used to having bad ends. It is what it is. And if you're at a tournament, you're going to have a bad end. And then all you're going to have to focus on is the next arrow, and focus it on getting a good arrow. So we got 3 ends to go. 3 points down. Straighten it up. That felt really good. The sight pin just sat on the 10. Maybe I'll shoot better with this bow than the Result. The thing that gets me is what I want to hear from professional archers. I want to hear what score you shoot with the Envision, which one you shoot with this. I want to hear, one bow at 18 meters to one bow versus another bow. It makes no difference at 18, but it really makes a difference at 70 meters. Or we prefer this one because of the speed. Like, I want to hear information. I don't want to hear the fancy music. I want to see results, and I want to look. My degree is a science degree, and I don't know if it's. I want data. I want information. I just don't want to go, oh, because it feels better. Like, this bow does feel better, but I want to know if I'm going to shoot better with it. Like what I'd do if I was shooting this bow is I would shoot it for a week on this let off, 70%. I would shoot scores on the app and record all the scores, and then I'd probably go back to a 75% let off or an 80% let off, shoot scores. And the way I'm feeling at the moment with this bow, I may go to a longer draw length or a shorter draw length. I'd shoot that for a week, shoot scores, and see which one you shoot better with. I aim and it's just like the pin's setting right on the X, not moving. I'm like, wow, this is cool. And that first end she was moving all over the place. I'm like, oh, this is why you need a target bow. And now the pin's just sitting there and I'm like, sweet. All I've got to do is get this trigger to go off while it's sitting there in the middle of the X. One of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep this shoulder down, and I've been doing this on the recurve. There is a lot of correlation between the recurve archery and compound archery, getting the form right. You change your posture on recurve, it changes everything down on the target. Compound less so the recurve is very unforgiving compared to the compound bow. The compound bow you can shoot with your feet and shoot amazing scores. It's no disrespect to people with no arms who shoot amazing and win American championships. But with a recurve, it is so hard to shoot a recurve well. Now, the armless archer is obviously going to try and shoot a recurve and prove me wrong. But it's just so hard to recurve. Like, you've got to get all your muscles right. But I find, whether I'm right or wrong, if I can improve my recurve, I'm also going to improve my compound. And I'm going to say one of the best archers in Australia, if not the best archer in Australia, Alex down in Sydney, Alex Potts, who owns an archery shop, Eliza Archery, shoots amazing recurve and shoots amazing compound scores. A young man. I don't know how he shoots so well because he's amazing. He obviously shoots a lot of arrows and he obviously shoots compound and recurve, but just like amazing scores with both. Bang! Loving it. I really enjoy archery when you release in the middle and it aims and it just like bang and it hits the back end of the arrow. Huge fan. So here I'm shooting thin arrows. So these are Victory VAPs, 350s, 140 grain points if I repeat myself. Look, it's awesome. Now I see so many people shooting 3 spot faces, 1 arrow in each target, which is cool for them. The thing I like is I like this group. This group is awesome. I love it. It builds that high one. That was me. It actually released in that exact spot. It was like floating around a little bit and it fired and it was in that spot. And so 3 10s. So that's 117. So like a lot of people get target panic, and let's just touch on target panic for a moment. It's because they're putting so much pressure on themselves to hit that middle for their pin to be stable. It's not that your pin's stable. I used to say to some archers, look, my pin floats all over the place. It just floats everywhere. And they're like, what are you talking about? Well, floats everywhere. It's just like floats everywhere, like all over the target. I don't even understand how you hit the middle. It's just a random shot. And which is what it was. It was floating, but like that end and the end before, they were like in the X. But they get target panic because they're wondering when they're going to shoot, and that puts pressure on them. As a result, they wobble more. So you just need to relax and focus on form and technique, and that's what I'm doing now. You may think I'm shooting a score and doing it for the camera and all the rest of it, but I'm actually concentrating on keeping this shoulder down here, and that's what I've been working on recurve with lately, keeping this shoulder down. Just something I wanted to try. I was watching Daryl Pace, and I don't know if you know who Daryl Pace is. He's in one of the most famous recurve archers. Don't ask me which number he is, but he's definitely in the top 10, I'm pretty sure. So he's from my era, when I was a youngster who shot lots of Olympic gold medals. Young guy, skinny, and he always used to shoot with his arm sort of like that, down low, and his front arm looked really bent. But yeah, shot like amazing scores with aluminium arrows and wooden limb bows, and like amazing. It's starting to get cold. It was already cold, but it's getting colder. So we had a customer in today in the store. He's got an old bow, 10 years old. Said that things weren't set up. So I don't even know we set up. He goes like second axis is not right, or timing's not right, or something. Anyway, we looked at it and everything was fine. We shot it, it was all fine. The chances are that it's going to be you. Just saying. This bow I put together, I didn't tune it, didn't do anything, and here we are. And just focus on yourself. Like my sight, I don't know if it's level or not level. I just hear shooting. Too many people who shoot average, and I'm talking very average, are worried about everything. Like worried about literally everything. They're worried about the quality of their veins on their arrows. And it's like, focus on yourself. Focus on your technique, practice. Now, one of my friends on Facebook, and I shot Vegas with her, Jennifer, she shoots this bow for competition, an Envision. She's a professional archer for Elite. And I don't know really how well she shoots. Well, I've seen her shoot, and she shoots well. But I don't know how well she shoots now. She shoots all the comps there, and that's not me being disrespectful or anything. But I'm like, how good is this bow? And this is why I want to do this video. Is this bow good? Could I shoot 300 with it? And clearly the answer is yes, I could shoot 300 with this bow. The setup on Elites, like change the ability to change the draw length just a minor bit, the ability to change the valley, to change the whole feel of the bow is amazing to me. It's almost too much for me because I just really want to go shoot arrows. But I really like the way this bow feels. Bang, and how good does that feel? And one of my friends came in today. Very, very good shot. Like a very good shot. Shoots 300s all the time, and I've shot 300 twice in my life in practice. I am recorded as a 300 shooting in a competition, but I don't recall it. So there is a 300 recorded for me in competition, but I clearly do not record that. If it did, it must have been at the local club shoot, because I don't recall shooting a 300 in competition. But it's rare for me, and he shoots 300s all the time anyway. He's got his wife into archery. Bang, and that feels fantastic. Now his wife's a school teacher. So first thing, she's a school teacher, and I'm going to say she's done no physical exercise in her life, and that's no disrespect to her, and she probably has. But she's not very strong. So she's not a girl who goes down the gym and pumps weights. I think that's fair enough to say, because there's lots of girls in the gym who are stronger than I am. Anyway, so when she started, she couldn't handle the weight of the bow. It was too heavy for her. It was too heavy to pull back a 15-pound bow. Anyway, he brought her an Ember yesterday, last week. So an Elite Ember, nice little lady's bow, nice and light, nice shooting bow. I'm going to shoot this arrow. Bang, honestly, I have not shot this well. I haven't shot this well. When I was training for Vegas, I don't shoot this well when I train for Vegas. I shot 297 leading up to Vegas. I think I was shooting 293s, 294s. In Vegas I shot 297s. In practice in Vegas I was shooting really well. But I was not shooting this well. This is some of the best arrows I've ever shot. These are probably the best arrows I've ever shot. That's really, really good. They're all inside the line. There's no even question. It's so all the things there. Well, Andy sent me a message. This is literally the best I've ever shot. And when I have shot 300s before, so there's a vein I've shot. And my two 300s that I've shot in 40 years that I recall have been in practice, and they weren't this good. They were like I did shoot one of the veins, so just there. Now this would be fine, just clean it up a bit and they'll be fine to shoot. I know you don't believe me, but I prefer not to be flapping there, so it'd be better to hit with a set of scissors. Got 6 arrows to go. This could be my best arrows ever. It's crazy. Anyway, so my friend's wife, she's in setting up an Ember, and today she's in playing around with her anchor point, and she's trying out a new release, and so she's built up her strength. Okay, she's up to a 20-pound bow now, so she's built up a fair bit. And the bow's physically heavier than the bow she started with. She started with a little cheap Chinese kids bow called an M2 from Toe Point, which is very lightweight. It weighs about 2 pounds. And it's not a bad bow to start with if you've got no strength. And so she shot that, and I'd say she was a struggling archer. As many people do when they start, because they're not familiar with putting their body in a set position and stuff, and the repetition. Anyway, she shot today. We changed the peep sight, and she was looking pretty solid. anyway, she went and shot an indoor round and shot 260 out of 300. And I'm like, that's pretty good. So she's not yet in a club, so they're going to join a club. And no, but the vein came off. Yeah, so the knock, it just felt loose. It's got a slight little crack on the back end. So one thing I like about fluorescent, oh, there's the crack there. The crack's on the side. One thing I really like about fluorescent as opposed to solid colours, with solid colours you wouldn't see that crack, and obviously I was struggling to see that crack there. I really need to fix these arrows, and chances are I'm going to fix them up the night before a competition. Anyway, we've got a new arrow, 6 arrows to go. Anyway, 260 is like, what do you think of 260? I'm like, that's awesome. And they're going to join a club and do it together, and like, I think that's good. And I'm like, what you do is when you go overseas, go away together, take your bows and go and shoot some competitions and go and meet people. So I think that would be cool. I think it'd be cool to go overseas and shoot some competitions together and go and do stuff together. And if she shoots a quarter of what he shoots, she'll be an amazing archer. Now that one I was struggling with. Don't ask me why. I think it was just in my head. Could be my shoulders high, I don't know. But that one I struggled with. Now I'm a bit out of breath, so my heart beats up. I can feel my heart beats up. That makes the next shots harder, so I find it's better to get the shot off quicker. When I say quicker, it's got to be quick enough. It's got to be slow enough that you can aim, but quick enough that you've still got air left in your lungs to get the shot off, because otherwise your heartbeat raises too much. That one didn't feel too bad. I felt like it was slightly up to the left. That's where it broke. And the bow moved out to the left when I shot the shot, but it felt pretty solid. I really like this bow. I remember I did the review on this bow, and with the hunting side, I was like, this is one of my favourite bows. Okay, so one of the elite shooters, his name Jacob Marlow, I think. Did he win Vegas? Maybe. Or did he win the Lancaster shoot? Like, he probably wins some stuff, and I'm not being ignorant, I sound like I am. I know he's a very good archer. Anyway, he's shooting the new Elite Victory, the old Elite Victory, and he said he's shooting that for 3D. Because it's got more speed than his current bow, which would be, I assume, a Result 36 or a Result 38. Now, this used to always happen to me in my old shop when I had Nathan Brooks, who shot PSE. PSE would make him custom bows, so they would change bits about the bow. They'd change the grip, or they'd change stuff. And what would customers would say? Well, that's not the bow Nathan Brooks is shooting because he has a custom bow, so it doesn't count what he shoots. So therefore, in their mind, they've shut down whatever score he shoots, whatever he wins, it doesn't count because that bow's not available. And I said back then, I said to Pete Shepley, PSE, I said, look, if you're going to do these custom bows for your staff shooters, I'm all happy for you to do that, then have them available. Have a Nathan Brooks bow, which has this custom grip that you do for him, have it for sale as a specialist bow. But the problem I have with staff shooters not shooting the current models is what that's saying about the brand. It's saying that they don't trust the brand. It's saying that, and it's not even so much I don't trust it, they're saying, well, I want more speed and I don't have that from the current selection that's available. So what it's doing, it's taking away from the brand, in my view. I think if you're a staff shooter and you're getting paid to shoot the brand, you've got to shoot one of the current models that's available. And ideally, it's exactly the same as what the public would shoot, because that way the public then get that choice. Now, if you're going to have like white limbs on an Elite, which would be cool, red cams on Elite, that'd be very cool, then make that available to customers. Last one was great. So I was just doing an order with Bowtech, and they have all custom options. So you can change the colour of the eyes, the colour of the limbs. You've got whatever colour of limbs you want. And as you make the custom bow, it changes the picture. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool colour, like a red riser with black limbs, as opposed to a red riser with red limbs. Like, I'm like, you know, like you do red and blue, you could do red and white, you could do this. I like that. So I've got all these custom bows coming in from Bowtech. I would like that from Elite. I would like the ability to take this bow and go, oh, I want red cams with it. I'd like red cams. I'd like red cams with it. I like red cams. I'd like white limbs, or, you know, well, with this bow, I'd like green limbs with a black cam, or maybe a green cam, like something unique. I think it'd be awesome, and I think it would boost sales. I think it would double the sales. If you had custom options on target bows, I think it would double the sales. I think when PSE had their custom ability, I'm going to say the sales aren't doubled on the custom bows, but what it does, it boosts the awareness of that brand. So I sold quite a few custom PSEs with various variations. So one of my staff has got blue cams, black limbs, black riser. Because what it does is people go, oh, I haven't seen one of those before. What is that? And that's a Model X. And it's like, but if you want the custom options, it's an extra $300. So I think it actually boosts the overall sale in the base model, and then the customs are sort of step up. So I think if Elite did like custom color cams, custom color limbs, and they charged, I don't know, so much extra for it, people would buy it. I would certainly buy it, because that way I'd have a unique product that is cool, that would raise awareness of the brand. So let's go and have a look at the last end. It was interesting. So before I did this video, before I set up this video, my staff said, I bet you shoot better with the Envision with the target set up than the Result, because in your reviews you generally shoot better with a short hunting bow than the target bows. And I was like, that's to do with the balance and stuff. I was like, there's no way am I going to shoot better with a hunting bow than a target bow. There is no way. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen on any imagination at all that I will shoot better with a hunting bow than a target bow. There it is, 297. The rating's a 107, which is not my best, but given I started with the 9s, That's awesome. Really good. Now, taking from this, I've got a competition coming up in about 4 weeks where I'm going to be shooting compound, because you know I've been shooting recurve lately if you watch the channel. I'm shooting compound. I'm in a team, so there's a Bebo archer in the team and a recurve archer in the team. So they're all from my store. So there's 3 of us shooting from our store. There'll be more obviously shooting from my store because there's a whole bunch of people who work at Archery Supplies who shoot. But there's 3 of us who are shooting recurve, Bebo, and compound. So I've got to choose a bow between now and then. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to be shooting scores in videos where I compare these 2 bows. I'm going to go Rezult, Envision, which one's better? Rezult 38, Rezult 36, Remedy, Rezult, which one's better? And then I'm going to go, how about Bowtech? Where's that going to rate? Where's my PSE Super rate in these scores? And I'm telling you, that is one of my best. Those 5 ends, excluding my first one, are 5 of the best ends I've ever shot in my life. Guaranteed that is the best. I have never shot, like my highest X count, and I think it would be in this video, I think I've shot a 21X. So that's 21 X's out of 30. I think it's my best. I generally average around 15, 16. That's a high X count right there. With skinny arrows, 1 target face. Very, very happy with that setup. Very happy with the bow. Cheap accessories. My hands were greased with RP37 before doing the video. Very, very happy. Like, amazing. Maybe my sales rep will send me some Elite clothing. He won't. Look, he won't. I don't get anything from Elite. They don't give me anything. They don't give me a beanie. I have to buy the beanie. They don't give me a t-shirt. They don't give me any Elite shirts. And it doesn't matter how big my Elite orders are, I don't get anything for free. I generally don't get anything for free from anyone. But I got those Pandarus arrows that I've been shooting for a few months from Pandarus, from the owner. But generally I don't get anything free. But that was amazing. Really enjoyed shooting the Envision with a target setup. Like, really, really enjoyed it. Like, it was so good to shoot. Now it's funny, the first end was like I was wobbling around a bit, and then I was like, whoa, this is aiming. I think the difference was this shoulder, keeping this shoulder down, keeping this front arm bent. I think that was the difference. Either that or I just warmed up, or I just got more confident with it as I went on. Which is one reason I generally don't change my gear, because I have confidence in that product and I just shoot it. I'm confident in this bow now because that was amazing. That was amazing. I feel like I'm a Vegas shooter. That's a really good end. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. That's the Elite Envision, 80 meters, indoor, outdoors. Tomorrow we're going to shoot the Rezult at 80 meters, and if I can shoot anything like this, I'll be extremely happy, and I'll have to go and shoot some scores at some clubs somewhere. Thanks for watching. Bye.